So far, we've been discussing each of these approaches individually, but they're often used in combination. For example, models such as structural equation models can incorporate multiple techniques simultaneously and test multiple relationships. This is one example of that. We've already seen how we can take individual questions and use them to create factors, and then we can take the factors and use those to create segments. But maybe we want to look at those segments in relationship to a number of other variables in terms of determining how they influence satisfaction with KiwiLand, which perhaps we think in turn influences the likelihood of recommending KiwiLand to others. Perhaps we think satisfaction with KiwiLand is driven not only by what segment you're in, but also how many birds you saw and maybe perhaps which particular birds you saw. Also, your home country. Maybe we think that visitors from some countries have a better time overall on average than others. We might expect some age and gender differences in terms of their satisfaction with the visit to KiwiLand. So we're looking at how all of those things individually and collectively affect satisfaction with KiwiLand. We're looking at how satisfaction with KiwiLand affects the propensity to recommend. But we're also looking at the influence of a person's social graph. So in other words, you might be in a segment that makes you likely to enjoy your visit. You might have seen a lot of birds. You might be from the country, gender, and age groups that are most likely to have a good time. But if you're not connected to a lot of other people on social media, then perhaps you're less likely to recommend KiwiLand to others than somebody who is extremely well connected to others through social media. And as we look at these relationships that are shown through arrows, we're doing something very akin to what we're doing with regression analysis, but in this case, instead of just having, say, one dependent variable that we're trying to predict with a bunch of independent variables, we're looking at a whole series of relationships between variables.